Welcome back to Rock and Ron Garage. Today's video is going to be a little bit different than the norm. We're not working on no cars right now. I'm waiting on parts, especially the transmission. I tried to get my transmission rebuilt by my guy, but he was too busy. Didn't really have time. You know how impatient I am. So I went ahead, called around, asked around, tried all my contacts, connections. It didn't pan out. So I ended up buying one outright. I ended up buying a C6. So I figure if I ever go to sell the car or whatever, the transmission, the FMX I have is a numbers matching to this car. If I sell it, I'll give them the trans with it. So they'll have the complete numbers match and everything. But I went ahead and I bought a C6. You'll see it when it gets here. I'll do an unboxing and we'll go from there. We'll put the motor and trans together, new torque converter, bolt it all up, put it on in. The Maverick, I haven't touched it. I got a few small things to do to it, waiting for the weather to break. The weather up here in Northwest Indiana is pretty bad. We get one day of 30 degrees and 5 days of 10 degrees. So the car's not going out like that. I got a little bit to do on that. I'm going to change the speedometer, the cluster. I got a better one. Tweak up the front suspension a little bit. Fire it up, put some transmission fluid in it, and that'll be a test drive on that. I know I keep saying it, but eventually it's going to happen. The weather is bad. So as for that, I can do small things on the Mach 1. I got some sandblasting for the hinges, the stuff to bolt back on the firewall in the engine compartment. I got the fuel tank filler, rubber, all that good stuff to put that on. That's small stuff. It doesn't really make good content. So this time I'm going to do like I did with the last video I did was the 64 Galaxy Evolution. Now this time I'm doing it with my 67 Firebird. It's a future project to finish. I've had this car for 14, 15 years. It's come a long way, but it's still got a little bit ways to go. Mainly paint and some tinkering. Paint's the big factor. So I'm going to give you an evolution from the day I got it, when I lived at my old house, till its current state right now. It's going to be a lot of pictures, maybe a couple videos, nothing spectacular, but a lot of pictures of just the different things I've done to that car since I got it. When I originally got it, it was an old drag car. I mean, it's had to be from the 90s, early 90s. I bought it. It had a green underbody paint on it, some kind of Imron or train paint, whatever you call it, but it was so hard to get off. I mean, it was hard. But I did it. I bought a rotisserie for it. You'll see all the pictures. And as the pictures are going, whenever there needs something to be explained, I'll narrate it through the video. So this week, this video is going to be about the 67 Firebird project car. It's one of many projects I have that isn't done, but it will be. So bear with me. Let me get the rest of these parts together, get them in, so I can make some quality video for you guys. Somewhat quality, whatever you call it. And watch the Firebird video. Tell me what you think about it. Comment below. Say, Ron, man, you did a great job. Or, Ron, man, that's a piece of crap. Either way, it's no big deal to me. I laugh at all of it. But this is the video for the 67 Firebird project. Start to the current state it's at, sitting in my shed, waiting its turn. I think I need a big shop. If I had a big shop, all the projects would be there. Each one of them would have a tripod in front of it so I can just jump from car to car to car as parts come in, as you buy parts, because that's a lot of the holdup too, is buying all these parts. So we'll get it. We've got nothing better to do, right? So check out the video. Here it goes. Here we start out roughly 2010. I believe that's when I went and bought this car. 67 Firebird X race car. Had somewhat of a makeshift roll cage in it. Fiberglass front end. An old 8.2 rear end in it, wasn't even bolted up. It was pretty much a basket. One piece front end. I got it loaded up, paid for it, got it loaded up, took it to my old house where I was living before I moved. I loved it. First body like that was an F body I had. I love the shape of these cars. Got it in the garage, got it cleaned out, stripped out. It needed some floor work. Yeah, it was solid, but it still had some holes, some usual rust spots that these things get rusty. It had that beautiful green paint. Oh my God. That paint was so tough to get off. There's one of the plates I grafted in after cutting the cage out. The back driver's side torque box needed to be replaced, the sheet metal above it. I cleaned it up, wire wheeled it, 415'd it, put the patches on it. That's the old garage, my old house. Didn't have much room, but I made do. There it is, 415'd before I put the patch on. That's the patch I bought. I had to trim it down. All the tape lines show where the old one went for the seat bracket. I didn't want to lose where that seat bracket went. I had a buddy of mine put a center floor trunk pan in it because they cut it out for a fuel cell. Oh, that beautiful green. Doesn't it look so good? I'll tell you what, that green paint was heck to get off. There's the floor pan redone, all pour 15. It come out beautiful. Man, that stuff is so shiny. It did. It really come out nice. Last forever. Here it is, sitting up on stands. Now this is the new house, my house I'm at now. This is where I bought the rotisserie, mounted the body to it. I left a subframe on it when I put it on the rotisserie. Started working on the underside of the car with that beautiful green paint. Here's yours truly standing next to it. A lot of wire wheeling, a lot of sanding, grinding. I had to get that paint off. A little bit of etch prime. Okay, a lot of etch prime, a lot of sanding, a lot of grinding. It come out pretty good. I worked my butt off on that. Resealed where you put the trunk in at the bottom, cleaned up some welds, and I used a Sim brand Rhino line on the bottom. It come out really nice. Stuck really good. Got it off the rotisserie, back on the ground, cleaned up the front stub, etch primed it real good to get the paint to bite. Fit it with the gloss chassis black. Here's the 8.5 rear end I picked up for it. It has a 488 posi in it. I cleaned it up, took off the backing plates, new seals, new bearings, and put all the vented rotor rear disc brakes on it. Painted it up real nice. Put it back in the car. I ended up going with some Summit Racing 2-inch lowering leaf springs. And just some Monroe shocks, I think it is. Chromed it up a little bit. She looks really nice when she's clean. There's a new booster master cylinder combo kit. Corvette style, 4-wheel disc. Tube duffers, tube blowers, new spindles. Moog springs, Moog steering. All cleaned up and painted. It's just all dusty now and it doesn't look clean at all. Here she is going together with the new core support. And the motor. Picked this motor up out of Illinois off of Craigslist. Come out of a 67 RS SS that was bought from Volo Museum. It is so polished up and shiny. Man, it's just a mild 350. There's my 400 turbo. I had Kelly's transmission rebuilt out of Griffith, Indiana. He's a friend I grew up with. Been around a while. There's another shot of the motor with a polished intake. All the polished pulleys, chrome power steering pump, chrome alternator, hooker, ceramic coated headers. It's got a Holley 600 carb on it. The carb I got on the Maverick right now. Yeah, it's just a mild 350, but it runs good. It's really nice. Nice and beautiful. New radiator, electric fan, fan controller. Now we're coming up on the body parts. I bought multiple body parts for this car. I believe I bought 4 fenders, 3 sets of doors. You might see 4 sets. I've lost track because it's 67 only. It's the ones with the vent windows. Every time I ran across them, I picked them up. Had them on, had them off, different ones. This is where I started my painting process, jamming it all out in black. Door jambs, firewall. It come out pretty nice for single stage paint. Set of doors I jammed out. The trunk I cleaned up real good, etch primed the bare spots. Jammed the trunk. And then hit the trunk with a trunk paint like I always do. There's the new deck lid that's painted. Firewall got painted. Now I picked up some seats for it. I didn't have no seats when I got it. The reds are the rear, the blacks are the buckets for the front. There's the rear seat. It has to be recovered, and that was a process too. I had to fix some of the wires on it, some of the springs. But I cleaned it all up, painted the springs, covered it up with some canvas, new foam, hog ringed on, and then put the Classic Industry seat covers on it. They weren't perfect, but they come out pretty nice. Really padded them up. Redid the fronts. They turned out pretty good too. And oh yeah, Bev helped too. Can't leave her out of it. More of the seats. They did. They turned out really, really nice. More of the front seats. Here's doors I have, fenders I have. Just every time I had a chance, I picked them up. I found this on Craigslist one day and went all the way to southern Indiana to get it. I've been dying to get one of these hoods. And I ran across the 69 Trans Am fiberglass hood. Here she is in her current state. I believe those are the doors that are on it. There's more doors and fenders I picked up. There is the subframe connectors. I went with Ride Tech. I didn't like the ones that was on it. I think it was a competition engineering. You'll see it right here, right now. That was the old one I cut out. And a new one put in. New body bushings. A new 6-way tilt I did it steering column. Wood grain steering wheel. All new. I love that steering column. I got the bare one, I had to paint it. And there it is underneath. Open headers, I ain't got no exhaust on it yet. New drive shaft by Indiana Driveline. There's that beloved hood again. Man, I love that hood. I went ahead and put all the sound deadening inside of it. And there it was sitting in storage before I brought it home again. And there it is coming home. That's the current state of it right now. It's coming up in the queue here shortly. I would say by, I don't know, maybe fall, it'll be in the shop. She's just patiently waiting her turn. And Bev loves it too.